Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Captain's video blog. We're still Saturday, however we're not June the 11th, we're actually June the 10th, and in hindsight I just don't understand how I've been able to make such a mistake, and that's for one very simple reason. Yesterday, Friday, June the 9th, was the start of the 2017 summer transfer market window, and well, statements by the new owner and the new president and the new director of sports and the new manager of Olympique de Marseille have made it pretty clear that, well, that day would be the real, the true, the actual start of the OM Champions project. And well, as a supporter of this club, you know, it was pretty important. So yeah, in all logic, following Friday, June the 9th, would, well, be Saturday, June the 10th. And I mean, the only kinda logical explanation that I can find for that, you know, for saying June the 11th in part 1, is that I must have seen June the 10th sometime before sleeping, and my sleep schedule is just in such a terrible state that after getting a very, very good night of sleep, well, when I had to say the date, my brain just went in the most logical direction for it and decided that, well, if I get a good night of sleep, therefore we must be the day following the last date that I've seen, and therefore, you know, following Saturday, June the 10th, was Saturday, June the 11th. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only way I can explain all of that. Anyway, yeah, haircut, I got it, and I gotta say, pretty satisfied with it. And that's for one very simple reason. It makes, you know, the top of my head look pretty rectangular, but still, you know, a bit round. And usually, well, I get my haircut so short, and you know, I leave so little thickness on the top that, yeah, it really it really takes the shape of my head. And I mean, I'm not gonna hide that I'm, well, fairly overweight, and therefore it just emphasizes how fat I look, and I don't really like that. I mean, I don't have a lot of standards for my appearance, but you know, this is still a kind of a red line that I wouldn't like to cross too often. That's also the main reason why I don't really shave, you know, like I don't remove all of my facial hair basically ever, and you know, unless I really need to do it, that's you know, for presentations and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you know, if the top of my head looks like shit when it's short, I guess that the bottom is not gonna look that much better. I mean, my chin isn't really pointy, so yeah, you know, it's the way it is. Now, I still think that I should remove some of this, because I mean, now with how short my hair is, it doesn't really look good. Anyway, now I'm outside. You must have recognized that part of my abode from, you know, earlier video blogs from well, I don't know if I actually recorded a video blog outside this year, or at least one that I've released on my channel. I think that I recorded the WrestleMania one in the garden, but no, besides that, you know, I must have gone back to last summer, and I think that even then I recorded some of the video vlogs in the kitchen. But yeah, I felt like the heat was a bit too overwhelming right now for me to record a 15+ minute video blog inside. So I decided to go back to the garden, and well, as you've seen, I've taken one measure to ensure that it would go well. That is to put a shirt on. That's for two reasons. The first one is that there are a lot of mosquitoes, so yeah, the best way to not get stung everywhere is to cover up. Now, I still have my face exposed, most of my neck, and my hands exposed, so that's still a lot of targets to attack. But you know, it's already better than being assaulted from every angle. And also, well, I mean, while inside and during the day generally it's hot, well, outside during the night it's pretty chilly. So I wouldn't want to get into some kind of a sneezing fit, around the 8 or 9 minute mark, because yeah, that would kind of ruin the video. I mean, we would be at a point where I wouldn't be able to come back from that. I just don't know. Would I stop the video and do the recording and just try to power through another recording, or would I try to power through the same recording, like making weird facial expressions like some that you might have seen during other winters? Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, pretty cool haircut. I feel, it's much better than the one I got in February, actually. So yeah, what can I talk about? Well, I mean, we're gonna continue with the recap, and well, since it was past midnight and that I didn't talk about it in part one, let's talk about a quick recap of Extreme Rules. That was a fine show. I mean, the best matches, technically speaking, were the cage match for the Raw Tag titles. I mean, the stipulation in itself was pretty dumb, and having Jeff come back inside and pretty much actually making the Hardys lose the match, because at the end of the day, when Sheamus and Cesaro both dropped from the top of the cage and won the titles, Jeff was the one who was still inside the cage, I think. Yeah, that was almost a week ago, so my memory might be a little bit hazy. Also, I fell asleep, I dozed off just before the main event, like probably during the promo for the match. I fell asleep, so yeah, that doesn't really help. But still, yeah, pretty fun match, I gotta say. And well, I mean, technically speaking, you've got some of the most talented wrestlers right now in the WWE and on Raw. To be, I just went for a less large generalization, and it feels weird. So yeah, other match that was fun as fuck, the submission match between Austin Aries and Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, and this might be the last time for a while that we're seeing Austin Aries, seeing as he said that he would take some time to recuperate, and other sources, like, they say that he actually wouldn't know when he's coming back, or if he's coming back at all to the WWE. That would, that latter part would actually be really disappointing, because yeah, he's really great, but he really hasn't done anything in the WWE. Especially since Thea Trinidad debuted on NXT this week. So yeah, this match was much fairer than the other matches that Neville has had with Austin Aries, and that's for one reason. It's because it was a submission match. So yeah, you cannot really get disqualified or forced, some kind of cheaty results. The Rings of Saturn are a pretty legit submission hold, I guess. So yeah, the match for the Intercontinental Championship was pretty okay, I guess. The stipulation almost worked in The Miz's favor, who still won with a clean finish, by 1-2-3 after the skull crushing finale. That's just a name that really doesn't stick with you. But still, he tried to get Ambrose disqualified, because that was the stipulation, that if Ambrose got disqualified, he would lose the Intercontinental title, and that's probably a stipulation that wouldn't have happened on SmackDown. So I guess that we gained that from having both continuing a feud that they could have had on SmackDown. Yeah. Also, I mean, I guess that the Miz wouldn't have had his way with Daniel Bryan. Maybe with Shane McMahon, but Daniel Bryan, big no. Yeah, it was fun. Ambrose might still be embroiled in in that rivalry, since he attacked Miz on Miz TV on Raw after that. Yeah. Then there were, some matches that weren't really good or bad. I mean, the stipulation for the women's title match, the kendo stick on a pole. Vince Russo, I guess. He's denied that he has anything to do with it, but come on now, come on. I mean, the match wasn't really bad, but it wasn't good. I mean, you've given like the kind of the worst place on the card to that match, and I'm not saying that it set back the women's division like back to the Divas era, because there's still a kendo stick involved, and well, Alexa Bliss going to town on Bayley with that. But it also follows a shit segment. I mean, that mean-spirited This Is Your Life segment that Alexa Bliss hosted on Raw just before Extreme Rules. It was bad. I don't see any kind of redeeming qualities to that segment. Then there was Alexa Bliss retained. She is OP. Actually, only 2 titles were retained that night, out of the ones that were on the line. That's the women's title and the cruiserweight title. So yeah, 2 champions that are a bit undersized but look fucking strong. There was another match with the cruiserweight tag match, Sasha Banks and Rich Swann, that won against Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. Fun match, I gotta say, even though it feels like Sasha Banks is being demoted for some reason. I mean, maybe it's to bring back some viewership to 205 Live. I'm not knocking on Noam Dar, Alicia Fox, or Rich Swann, because they are hella entertaining and very talented. But yeah, Sasha Banks, I guess that she deserves better. Yeah. Also, well, probably the best match of the night, and I was kind of afraid because that, fatal 5-way Extreme Rules match sounds like the recipe for a clusterfuck, and a clusterfuck it was, but it was a fun clusterfuck with everyone getting a fair share of the action. Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt working together, Finn Balor kicking very very brutally kicking Roman Reigns in the face. Roman Reigns with his spear that goes through barricades, and Samoa Joe winning at the end of the day. Yeah. Well, he made it pretty clear that at Great Balls of Fire or some other pay-per-view that might be coming down the road, he's serious about getting the Universal title from the hands of Brock Lesnar, as he's put Paul Heyman in the coquina clutch the following night on Raw. So yeah, it's fun. Lana got a match at Money in the Bank for the women's title on SmackDown, and that sounds like a lot of bullshit. The briefcase for the women's Money in the Bank looks fucking lush. That's just, oh man, it just looks fucking great. So yeah, just in terms of wrestling, I guess the week was okay. Yeah, mostly because Extreme Rules wasn't that great. But yeah, Raw was fun, SmackDown was fun, NXT was fun, 205 Live, yeah, it's still heaps of fun. There was some strange stuff on Impact. Yeah. Now for the work. The work. So that the week, was I didn't have Monday. On Monday, I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy, and I still don't understand how in 2017 you can still have people leaving the theater before the end credits have completely rolled over. Like, there were like 5 scenes during the credits, and every single one was worth watching. And people either left before the first one, or after the first one, or after the 4th one. Like, when there's like 2 minutes in the end credits, you leave. Why? What are your motives for that? There were still like fun Easter eggs during the credits themselves, and you still leave. Yeah, okay, sure. The movie in itself was also fun. I don't still understand how I took the opinion of TV as a valid opinion, since their favorite meme is Bane, so much so that they went into some kind of frenzy over the plane crash in a town near Digne-les-Bains. So yeah, so it was a fun movie. And also Kurt Russell taking the traits of David Hasselhoff. So David Hasselhoff as a very angry god is, yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, at work the week was, I mostly had to make a map. And I mostly didn't do it because I spent a good part of Tuesday looking up things about my village on the National Archives and the National Library, and holy shit, those, there are some hidden gems about this, even though some of the older stuff is, most of the other stuff is about kind of Apple. And so most of the most recent stuff is about some kind of dude who was in Paris and wrote some plays, vaudeville and some novels. So yeah, just when you find the good stuff about the thing you're looking for, it's really good. Yeah, but besides that, I helped with one of my coworkers' problems that they had with another thing that just wasn't really in the field of my internship, but I decided to help. And yeah, I mean, I feel like if I were to be professional, the thing that I had to do, I would have probably finished it, that's just with adjusting the scale and all that kind of stuff by Tuesday evening. Yeah, I'm not once again, not a knock on the people of the internship or whatever. It's just that I feel like, yeah, having over 1 week to do that, it's just maybe too much, for what it is. So yeah, then again, I would have had to send it to the outside company so that they would review it, and maybe they would have told me to make some changes, but I still have until next Wednesday to do it. Oh, France lost against Sweden, and both Swedish scorers are Toulouse players, and not even in the starting 11. Most of the season they spent it on the bench, waiting to enter. Sometimes they entered, sometimes they didn't. So yeah, it's just terrible thing. The second goal by Sweden. Oh, scary. So since after the haircut there was really nothing that's happened today, I guess that the 2-1 defeat in Sweden is the last thing for the week. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.